Good afternoon. I have the distinct pleasure of running the lower school makerspace here at Key School. I try to keep abreast of the latest educational research in the areas of making and STEM and have been heavily influenced by several research groups. The Harvard University Graduate School of Education's Project Zero, the MIT Media Lab's Lifelong Kindergarten Group, and the Developmental Technologies Research Group out of Tufts University. Project Zero in particular, its Agency by Design initiative focuses on maker-centered learning that helps students think critically and creatively, be curious, and engage collaboratively with each other. Through thinking routines, students learn habits of mind to look more closely at and to think more deeply about the projects that they are working on. The idea is to empower children to see the world as malleable, that the world and the systems in it have been designed, and that they can change the designs they don't like. In other words, they become makers and hopefully remakers of their world. I find that particularly compelling in these trying times. Most of my students' projects are challenge-based and interdisciplinary. I am particularly excited to point out a current project that you can see a glimpse of in the bottom right corner of the screen. My fourth graders use the 3D modeling software Tinkercad to design 3D printed plankton, which they have been studying in science. I look forward to the pandemic's end when we can resume our rich robotics program, which includes Kibos, Ozobots, Spheros, and Lego Mindstorm EV3s. For coding, I use MIT's Scratch Block coding program with my third and fourth graders. It focuses on coding as a literacy and creation tool. Just as we teach math and reading and writing as important literacies, we need to help our students become fluent with new technologies as well. Scratch Junior is an iPad-based companion block coding program that was developed at Tufts and is a simpler version of Scratch, and I use that with my first and second graders. I want our students to look at coding as just one more way for them to express themselves and their ideas. In addition, I keep the next generation scientific and engineering practices in mind. In particular, I want them to begin to define problems, to develop and use models, to practice mathematics and computational thinking, and to design solutions to a variety of challenges. Finally, I try to remember something I learned from Malcolm Gladwell's book, Outliers, about what makes high achievers different. You may have read the book or heard about that 10,000 hour rule, that you become an expert at something when you do it for at least 10,000 hours. That's not the part that I connect with. What resonated with me is that high achievers share one important thing in common. They all had someone, a mentor, a coach, a teacher, when they were young who made them love it, whatever that it might be. So in my classes, I try to make my students love making and coding. At the elementary level, I try to help children learn to be brave, to take risks, to problem solve, and to persevere when things get frustrating. The emphasis is on the journey through the process and not just the final product. I want my students to see themselves as creators. Where they take their making and coding skills is up to them. Thank you. I'd like to turn the reins over to Makiba now.